On the 15th of April 2014, the Sun, the Earth and the Moon aligned. This cast the full moon into the Earth's shadow and caused it to appear blood red in what we call a lunar eclipse. Whilst lunar eclipses usually occur around twice a year, the blood moon on the 15th of April caught the attention of astrologists, conspiracy and religious theorists alike, for this blood moon was to be the first of a tetrad, a rare occurrence of 4 consecutive lunar eclipses within just 18 months, all of which coincide with a Jewish holiday. With a total solar eclipse also set to cast the Earth into darkness between the 4 blood moons, Christian ministers like Mark Blitz and John Hagee have interpreted these astronomical occurrences as religious omens, referring to the biblical passage from the book of Joel that warns, "The sun will turn into darkness and the moon into blood before the great and terrible day of the Lord comes." Hagee and Blitz both believe that the date of the final lunar eclipse, the 28th of September 2015, marks the end of days. In 2008, Blitz began to preach that the second coming of Christ will occur in the fall of 2015, after claiming to discover an astronomical pattern that predicted the next tetrad of blood moons would coincide with the end times. Blitz warned that this would be preceded by 7 years of great tribulation, where famine, war, pain and suffering will wipe out more than 75% of all life on Earth. However, when this didn't happen, Blitz simply pulled his prediction from his website. But the blood moon prophecy lived on, and has gained new momentum since 2013, when Pastor John Hagee, founder of the largest pro-Israel group in America, publicized the idea in his book. In his book, Hagee explains that the tetrad indicates that a specific event will occur in the nation of Israel. He states that throughout the last 500 years of history, previous tetrads have coincided with tragic and triumphant events in Jewish and Israeli history. For example, he cites the tetrad of 1492, the year both the Jews were expelled from Spain and Christopher Columbus discovered America, now home to an estimated 6.8 million Jewish people. He also points out the tetrads of 1948, the year the modern state of Israel was established, and 1967, the year Israel won the Six-Day War against the United Arab Republic and annexed the historic city of Jerusalem. Consequently, Hagee believes something dramatic will happen in the Middle East involving Israel that will change the course of history. Specifically, he cites the increasing tension between Israel and Hamas, the rise of IS in the Middle East, and the increase of anti-Semitism in Europe as evidence. Further to this, Hagee preaches the religious significance of the tetrad by emphasizing the coincidence that the 4 blood moons each occur during the Jewish holidays, Passover and the Feast of Tabernacles, or Sukkot. Hagee says that every time a tetrad occurs on Jewish feast days, something traumatic and world-changing happens to Israel. However, critics of the blood moon prophecy dismiss Hagee's portents as mere coincidence. They point out that the Jewish calendar revolves around the lunar cycle, and therefore 1/6 of all eclipses will naturally occur during Passover or Sukkot, which by definition always take place on a full moon. Additionally, other critics have pointed out that 3 of the 4 eclipses in the tetrad will not even be visible in the biblical homeland of Israel, casting further doubt on Hagee's interpretation. Since the 1st century, there have been 8 tetrads which have coincided with both the feasts. However, this time Hagee warns that on September the 28th, 2015, the date of the last blood moon, a rapture will occur, where Christians will ascend to heaven, Israel will go to war in Armageddon, and Jesus Christ will return to earth. A significant public interest in the blood moon tetrad has led NASA to issue a statement dismissing the suggested rarity of the tetrads. They explain that there will actually be another 8 sets occurring before the year 2100. Former pastor Professor Gary Shogren explains Hagee's insistence on preaching the blood moon prophecy with the concept that you'll never go broke predicting the apocalypse. Incidentally, the American Prospect reports that Hagee is one of America's richest pastors. His book, 4 Blood Moons, has sold more than 390,000 copies, and with an increasing congregation and requests for television appearances, he's able to raise even more money as the doomsday date approaches. However, Christian website Got Questions warns against embracing the blood moon prophecy, observing that even as a theory, it comes close to doing what the Bible explicitly warns against doing, that is, setting dates for the coming of the Lord. For as the Bible says, about that day or hour, no one knows. In January 2012, the doomsday clock moved 1 minute closer to midnight. The clock indicates how close we are to destroying our civilization with our own technology. On a clock where midnight represents Armageddon, the hands now read 11:55.